These are my brand new Nike Free 5.0s, and they might just be Nike's most misunderstood shoe. You can find them online at the Nike web store on sale for just $80, and oftentimes at Nike outlet stores, you can find them for $50 to $60 if available. Nike describes the Free Run 5.0s as being able to transition from running to training to your everyday routine with a sock-like boot made from a breathable knit upper, combining flexibility and security, getting the user close to the ground for barefoot feeling. In this updated design, they claim the shoe is more responsive, lighter, and softer with laser-cut grooves that make it very flexible. It also features the rubber patches at the forefoot and heel to keep durability on the most worn parts of the shoe. Meanwhile, the upper uses a breathable knit material throughout to give your foot room to stretch as you run. Indeed, if you weigh them, they only weigh 14 ounces, which is pretty impressive for an $80 shoe. But now, why are they so misunderstood? Well, I'm gonna take them for a run and find out. My main question is, if they're so light, cheap, and comfortable, why don't more people know about them and why don't more people wear them? All right, so I'm gonna head to my local running trail and do some pace work. My first couple of miles are gonna be slower, 8-minute to 12-minute pace. Then I'm gonna do a couple miles at 7-minute pace, 2 miles at 6-minute pace, and try and do a mile under 6-minute pace. This, I feel, will give me a good sense of the shoe at a lot of different speeds for a lot of different users. All right, first mile was exactly 8-minute pace. The shoes feel soft, comfortable, and a little bit warm, I'd say. I'm definitely noticing the added stiffness of the rubber patch in the heel. Every time my heel touches the ground, I notice that. It's not the worst feeling in the world. It just kind of makes me want to get up higher onto the balls of my feet a little more. I'm definitely feeling grounded and pretty stable. So far, so good. Second mile was just about 9-minute pace. I'd say if you're a heel striker, that these shoes will help encourage you to transition to being more on your midfoot, where your stride is more efficient and where you can prevent more of your injuries by letting your feet absorb shock as opposed to your knees and your joints. But if you are a heel striker and you're not looking to transition your stride to a more efficient form, I would say that there are better shoes that have a better heel feeling than these ones. The heel feeling is rather stiff because of that big rubber patch on the back. All right, third mile was right at 7-minute pace. I can definitely start to feel these shoes warming up on me a little bit. So far, we're doing okay. I'd say I'm gonna hit the next two sub 7-minute pace and try and go like 5:30 or under 6-minute pace for the last mile. And we'll see how the shoes do. All right, last 2 miles, we're right at 6:35 pace. Feeling pretty good. Shoes a little warm still. Time to push it to the finish and get sub 6. All right, last mile was 5:52 pace. I did stop to tie my shoes a little tighter, and that did help the heating issue. I think I had them too loose and they were moving around a little too much on me for higher speeds. Otherwise, let's get back to the studio and talk about the shoe a little bit more. So why are these shoes so misunderstood? Well, for me, I think it's because these are Nike's take on a minimalist barefoot style running shoe. Back when Nike was founded, they literally invented the modern running shoe as a highly cushioned shoe. To this day, some of the best-selling shoes Nike sells are high stack height or technology-forward shoes like the Vaporfly Next Percents. To create a shoe like the Free Run, not only do they have to take a risk on a shoe that they're not known for, they also have to create a shoe that they're not used to making. So why does this matter? Why, when every runner's dream right now is to buy a Vaporfly Next Percent, am I recommending and buying and daily driving these shoes? For me, I think the industry focuses a lot more on comfort than they should. Comfort's very important, especially for a new runner, but it's not the only thing that's important. Other things matter too, like energy efficiency and the prevention of injuries. Yes, you could buy the sub 2-hour marathon Vaporfly Next Percents, but if you don't know how to use them correctly, you could just end up as a worse runner with more injuries. This is where the movement of barefoot running comes into play. It's not so much about being barefoot as much as it is optimizing your stride for efficiency and reduction in injury risk. And perhaps the best guide to this subject is the book Born to Run by Christopher McDougall. Now, Born to Run is quite a long book, so I did a whole book review just for you. You can watch it up there if you'd like. But in chapter 25, they kind of explain the idea behind the barefoot running movement, and specifically how shoes play a role in it. It says that in 2002, Nike finally woke up to the barefoot running movement and did some research. What they found was rather interesting. The book says that if you support an area, it gets weaker. Use it extensively and it gets stronger. Run barefoot and you don't have all those troubles, referring to injuries. And they did some slow motion video of barefoot running. What they saw was rather interesting. When you take a foot out of a shoe, it does all these funky and amazing things. It stretches, grasps, and splays while landing. Truly something beautiful to watch in slow motion. So with all of this in mind, Nike made the Nike Free Run, the very first one. And these are the words that they use to advertise it. Your feet are your foundation. Wake them up. Make them strong. Connect with the ground. Natural technology allows natural motion. Power to your feet. Performance starts here. It's quite a lot of jargon, but you get the effect of it. As someone who runs predominantly on their forefoot already, these shoes are well suited to my running stride. I also like really low profile and light shoes, so I definitely wanted to give these a try, and I'm very happy with them. I think they're a great bargain. They can improve a runner's form if you work with the shoe and learn about running form and efficiency. And I think in the long term, they can work with the runner to strengthen the lower leg muscles and decrease the risk of injury. So yeah, I'm gonna use them as a daily trainer while I prepare for my marathon upcoming in the spring here. If you're interested in watching my training process, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any videos I make about that. I think my biggest concern is the long-term durability of this shoe. This is going to be my first shoe with a foam tread as opposed to a rubber tread. I think it's going to be okay though, because more and more of shoes in the industry are choosing to go with that foam tread. So I think it's going to be okay. But that about wraps up the review. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like or leave a comment with any questions or concerns you might have. If you want to support the channel more directly, of course, subscribing really helps to grow the channel, but also you can view my links in the description down below to my Redbubble and my Patreon. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.